video, we're going to talk about the track saw guide rail. It's the component that the track saw actually rides on to establish straight lines and eventually 90-degree sides.
Right, we're going to use it to break down this sheet of plywood so we can create a bandsaw cart, cabinet cart.
Right.
Yeah,
that's our next project. So, but we don't like taking the full sheet and Nana holding one side, me holding the other, and try to get that on a table saw. So we used a track saw along with its guide rail to break it down into smaller, manageable pieces. Now let's talk about the anatomy of the track saw guide rail. So on there we actually have a tongue, a raised portion of the guide rail that's going to fit into the track saw groove. And that groove is what Nana was actually adjusting in the previous video, where she was adjusting how that groove, how tight it fits up against the actual tongue. Okay. Now the next piece is what?
The splinter guard.
Splinter guard.
It's the rubber strip on the side that lays on the plywood, and as you cut, it holds down the fibers, so it doesn't splinter.
Right. Hence its name, right? Splinter guard. So, and then later in the video, we're going to talk about like when you get a brand new track or times when you replace that splinter guard, you're going to want to be able to trim that in a proper way. So you make sure you got a good alignment. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and lift that up. Let's take a look at the what's it called? The anti-slip strips. So there's two of them underneath the track or the guide, excuse me. And that's what actually prevents the guide rail from slipping around as you're making your cut. A lot of times you can get away with just that in a lot of cuts, but some cuts, like when you go to score, you want to use a clamp. And so that's what that groove between those two strips is for, is just that. So we're going to go ahead and slide in a track or a guide rail clamp. Then we're going to clamp it to the piece, and we'll show more of that later in the video. Talk about replacing a splinter guard. On our short track that we bought, we actually did it incorrectly, and we're just now finally realizing that. And so what we want to do in this one, we're going to go ahead and replace that splinter guard because we actually got a bad cut right there for the splinter guard. That's the splinter guard you use to actually align up with your witness marks when you're trying to line it up. And if it's incorrect, well, you're going to have incorrect cuts. So let's take a look at how we do that. We're going to go ahead and remove the old one. So Nana's just going to grab it by the lip there, and she's just going to pull it back all the way and then get that actually removed. Nana and I had a really fun time removing all that residue from the track. When you pull the tape off, you're going to do your best to try and get all the residue at the same time, but that's going to be challenging. We tried Windex, we tried alcohol, we ended up using actual Goof off, full screen. We also used this tool here. It's kind of a cool tool.
It's a scraper.
Yeah, a little scraper. And it has, it came with like these plastic blades or whatever, so that's kind of nice. So it doesn't mar up, your nice track. And we're gonna line that up just a little bit off the front, so in case we set the track on its side, it doesn't like lift that up.
Is that good?
And it's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's good. It's a good spot. Push up, against that lip there, right?
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and peel that back. We're gonna go ahead and put that on.
Push right against
that. And just kind of pushing up against that ledge.
There it goes.
Yeah. Again, this is tough. There you go. Nice. Good work. We're now going to press down, because remember when Nana was doing it, she was kind of pressing down a little bit on this, right? So now we're going to follow up, and I think we can just use this, Nana.
I bet we could.
Just push
the
down.
End of this?
Yeah. So, yeah, just kind of, that way we've got nice pressure, consistent, right? We're pressing that down across it.
Yeah,
and of course,
make total contact.
Purpose, yeah, exactly. We're trying to get good contact with that. So, yeah. All right, we got the new splinter guard on. We need to go ahead and trim it. But there's some things that you want to be careful. This is where we lesson learned for us. Nana is going to show, like on the back side there, you'll see where the cam is still engaged with it. What you don't want to do is then pull that back You don't want it like that, and it wiggles, right? And that's what we did last time. So we kind of goofed it up.
Right.
So we want to make sure that that back cam is engaged, just like that.
And the front one.
And the front one, exactly.
Of course it would be, the back one is.
And there we are. The other thing we did is we set the scoring position. Remember that in the first part of the track solve video? Because we don't need to go all the way through a board. We just grabbed a scrap piece of board, we clamped it to our table, and we're just going to cut through that. All right, Nana?
All right.
Ready when you are.
All right, I'm ready.
That's it. Very good.
We forgot our dust extraction.
Oh boy. So this is what we're talking about. What's the difference, right? Notice that because here we actually, that's our actual witness mark lineup. So when we draw a witness mark on a board that we want to cut, we're going to make sure that that line comes out far enough so we can line up right here. I'm just going to pull this off, because of course we're not going to leave that on. And then there we go. And so this is where you'll have like this. It looks kind of weird, but you'll never use that. You'll use this edge. Well, we hope you're enjoying the video so far. We're having a lot of fun doing it. We're still making mistakes, even on the film, right? But anyways, that's just what it is, what it takes for woodworking. We really hope you enjoy it, and we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our channel.
We'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Next up is connecting two guide rails together when you have to, cut something that's longer than the original track or the guide rail. We use these guide rail track connectors made by TSO. Love them. They're self-alignment or self-aligning, so you don't have to do a whole bunch of other alignment procedures. So now let's go ahead and install that in the top part. So now I'm going to slide that in. And we like to use like the label that's actually on the connector. Kind of line it up and then go ahead and tighten it up. Again, just finger tight. We never want to like overdo it. Could possibly damage the guide rail. All right, so now let's go ahead and flip this over. And we're basically going to do the same thing, right? We're going to slide this in here. And what I try to do is make sure I'm kind of offset. So you can see where, this connector is a little bit longer, right? That's going to help us connect the two tracks together. And this is kind of a tricky part, but basically we're going to bring in the other track, and Nana and I are going to fight over it, and we're going to try and get that connected. Okay, got it?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and slide that in, Nana. Okay. Okay. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's okay. So basically, you just kind of, fuss with it a little bit, and you kind of get it connected. Now, you heard the two tracks or the guide rails connect there, and what we want is because these are not perfectly 90, the actual rail part there's no guarantee of that. So what we do is I'm going to go ahead and lift up there. There you go. Perfect. I use a little Post-it note. That's going to be my little feeler gauge. That's going to help us so that we don't have the tracks 100% touching each other. So it's going to give us a little bit of a gap there. Once we have that set and it's pushed in, we're going to go ahead and tighten the, I think it's this side.
Oh.
Yep. Right. Go ahead and carefully lift it up, both tracks. Then we do the same thing on this side. There you go. I do the same thing. Like, which side did I do? Right? So, and there we go. And then right here, I'm going to get this out of that slip strip, and I'm just going to pull through the other side because I have it folded. And there we go. So now, when we lay it down, it's now got the perfect gap in here. The rails are now connected together, and they're guaranteed to have a perfect alignment. Now, go ahead and put a witness mark on to align our track for the long cut. So now go ahead and use that. We're going about 1/4 inch. We want to make sure that there's plenty of wood on each side of the blade. That'll help for dust extraction. We'll do the same thing on the other end, and then we'll line them up. Once we have the witness marks on both sides, now we're going to align that splinter guard right on top of it. And then that gives us a nice mark on both sides. We're going to get a straight cut. If you're going to use scoring pads, then you've got to go ahead and clamp your track down And that's where you insert the clamps here. You'll do it on both sides, and the whole purpose is to hold the track steady, so after you're done with the scoring pass, you can come back and do the full cut without moving the track. We're going to do our full cut now. So now go ahead and now we want to use that straight edge to our advantage by using what's called a guide rail square. And that's that item right there next to Nana. And we're going to attach that to the guide rail. Now go ahead and pull it back and let's reference it against that straight edge. And there we go. So it's just like a regular type of square. And you're going to set that up and you're going to make your cut and you're going to get two sides that are 90 degrees. Voila. Next step is we're going to go ahead and score this. Scoring pass complete. Excellent job, Nana. All right, let's go ahead and do our full cut. Nice job, Nana. Got that full cut through.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and check our square. Let's move the rail out of the way, the guide rail. There we go. There's our nice, fresh, clean cut. I mean, nice. That scoring does make a difference. Yeah, go ahead and pull it back. And then let's check the square on that, Nana. Let's see how we're looking.
90. Look at that.
Perfect.
No
90.
gap.
Right there. No gaps. Excellent. Beautiful cut.
Now we need to make a mark, right?
Yeah, let's do a witness mark. And what this shows is when we go to bring this to the table saw eventually, we know that this side and this side are perfectly 90 degrees. So I would reference this against the fence or this side. Just depends on what kind of cut I need to make. Excellent.